signing day 2012, and I think your coaching staff is very excited about who you signed this year generally.
Yeah, I think our signing classes have improved every year. I think they get a little bit better and a little bit better. And again, I think this is the best one we've had. There's a good number because we had quite a few seniors on our team, and there were needs in this class. The needs were offense, defensive linemen, receivers. I think those were the biggest needs. Punter, possibly a punter kicker involved in that. Returners involved in that, and I think we hit all of those needs. As a matter of fact, I think we did a really good job with the needs. Second thing that's glaring, I think, in this class is that it's a great year in the state. I thought this was a really good year in the state of Tennessee, and we just did a really good job. I mean, I'd say 3/4 of the kids are from the state of Tennessee that we signed. So that's exciting to us that we can have that many good players in our state and get them to come to Tennessee Tech.
Of course, Tennessee Tech hosting the TWS DoubleA, that's been a fact because a lot of these kids played right here in championship games.
I bet you if we go back and see through the last 3 years the kids on our team that played in these games, it would be surprising how many are on our team here at Tech. And but yes, there are players on this list this year that played in the state games either this year or even last year maybe.
We're going to talk about each player in a minute here, but you had a pair of brothers and a pair of cousins. Let's talk first of all about the Malones.
Corey and Zach are both brothers. Zach, the oldest of the two, they ended up graduating at the same time. Both of them are defensive linemen. That's kind of neat. Corey could very well grow into being an offensive lineman. He's 6'6", 240, and we've talked to Corey about it. His weight may take him right past being a defensive lineman, but they both were excited about coming to Tech, had a lot of interest in Tech as we started to recruit them, and really excited about getting them both here.
And the Blues?
Colton and Eric. Eric was the receiver that had the great game 2 years ago here in the state championship game that Tadarius Goff got the MVP on both sides of the ball. And I thought Eric could have gotten the MVP on both sides of the ball himself. He just had a great game, and we knew from that point on we were going after him. We really didn't think we'd have a shot at him. He commits to Memphis. And when they had the coaching change, he backed out, and it opened it back up to recruiting on him, and we're very lucky to have him here. Colton's his cousin who played at Pulaski High School, Giles County, up till his senior year, I think, and then he moved into Columbia, and so he got to play with his cousin 1 year, and so it's neat to get those. And we got a third guy we'll go ahead and talk about now from Columbia, and our punter kicker, Chris Harris, that we're excited about because he has a chance to do both in time. And Zach Sharp's here as a kicker. We lost our punter. He's got a very strong leg. He could take maybe the place of Matt Barker on the kickoffs and those things, and he'll give Zach a run for his money, and I think he's got a chance to be a good punter too. So that was, it was neat to get 3 kids from one high school like that. It doesn't happen very often.
Let's go to the West Coast. Carl Buchanan, the only non-freshman coming in.
Carl plays Travis Atkins' position. And Travis was a 4-year starter here, and we've got some good young guys that play Travis's position, but we wanted to bring an older guy in with them. And that's the only junior college guy we took. He's really a good football player. He's a bigger kid. He's between 6'2" and 6'3", and probably 280 to 285-ish. And we think he can be an instant impact here to help us next year. Of course, you would think if you're bringing a JC guy in, you would. But we don't go the JC route a lot, but we went to hunt this one position because we're really young with the guys that are coming back behind him. And so he was a good take for us.
Your coaching staff covered the entire length of the state of Tennessee. We talked about the Malones from West Tennessee, and you also got a player from way over in East Tennessee in Cock County, Newport, Chris Cates.
Chris can do it all. I'm really excited about Chris. He's a returner, carries the ball, ran a lot of wildcat. He was the quarterback in the backfield that would carry the ball, an outstanding receiver. A fantastic basketball player, averaging 18, 20 points a game now. There's so many different things we could do with him on the offensive side of the ball. I think people will see him carrying the ball some with those speed sweeps like we do, catching passes, a lot of screen passes to him. Just an outstanding athlete.
And let's talk about your two linebacker signees. Logan Cavender, first of all, from Fairview.
We really wanted to get athletic on defense. That was our goal. We play a lot of spread teams in this league. We had some trouble with the spread teams. Murray has beaten us the last 2 years in this spreading us out, and SEMO has spread us out a lot. We beat them last year, but it was a tough one and lost to them up there a year ago. EIU has now gone to the spread stuff. They had a Baylor assistant coach. So our league is headed more in that direction, and we just felt like we had to get more athletic, and it started at linebacker. And both of these two kids, Logan Cavender and Jay Rudwall, are both very athletic guys. Logan is a little taller. Jay is very well could be the state wrestling champion this year in his weight class. Predicted to be right now. We think he's got a good chance to be. Two really good football players. We lost Jake McIntosh last year, and we're going to lose Matt Moran, Howard Griffin this year. So we really needed to have two young ones ready to go when these guys all leave us here.
And the other linebacker, Jay Rudwall.
Yeah, just talked about Jay. Really good. We had Jay in camp. We fell in love with him in camp here, got to time him. He ran 4.60s consistently, and at 225 pounds, 30 pounds, that's very good speed. And so he helped himself with us by coming to camp, and I think he liked the place when he came to camp. So sometimes those summer camps do help you a little bit, but a very good player.
Let's jump across the line of scrimmage. You talked about all the linemen coming in. Let's talk about the 5 offensive linemen. First of all, from North Cobb High School, William Chapman.
William is a tackle, a little smaller, probably got the best feet of the 5. As far as weight, he's a little smaller, but maybe the most athletic of the 5 linemen that we signed. And we felt leaving last year when we got in trouble in our offensive line, it was from speed rushers and things that we still struggle with a little bit. So we want to make sure that the athleticism of our offensive linemen picked up in this class. And there's 5 of them in it, so we knew it was a big year for offensive linemen. We've been down the last couple of years in numbers in the offensive line. We seem to fought that trying to catch up, and this is the first time in a while we've caught back up again in our numbers. But William is going to be a really good player. Will probably come in and be one of our best pass protectors as soon as he gets here.
And from Mount Juliet, Brent Dillard.
Brett is a very well thought of guy, a finalist, I think, for Mr. Football in the state, highly recruited through the state and on our level. And from Mount Juliet, a strong football team he was on, very well coached, very excited about him. Really good student, good football player.
Talk about a player out of Sprayberry High School, Jibrin Ling.
Another good player that's coached by a Tech graduate, and so we had a little bit of an end there. Can play guard or tackle, can play either side, can stand flat-footed and dunk a basketball. That was pretty neat to me that he could do that weighing 300-plus pounds. And now I haven't seen it, but the head coach tells me that he most definitely can do that. I promise you when we get him here, we'll find out real quick like. But again, very good feet. Really good feet, could play inside or outside, and I think the connection, having a high school coach being a Tech grad, didn't hurt us any there either.
Over at Battleground Academy, Matt Martin is a signing.
Matt Martin is, I think, would have been very highly recruited. Broke his foot, broke his ankle in preseason, and didn't get to play till the playoffs, and so nobody got to see him, but very well thought of coming out of his junior year. And he's one of the bigger kids. He's a 6'5", 300, 305, something like that. Again, guard or tackle. Got the feet to play tackle, can play inside as a guard. Again, a really good player from BGA, and excited about getting him here.
And a guy that's got a couple of state championships, JT Rankin.
JT is the one that probably of the 5 that might have to play the quickest, and he knows that. Michael Baker's our center, and he's got 1 year left to play, Our backup last year played tackle and center. We didn't like having to do that in Malcolm Jones. And we've got 2 more tackles, guards that played center some in Randall Reeves and James Norman. Rob, we'd really love to not have to do that. And if JT can come in here and be Michael Baker's backup next year, it would really help us to where I could leave James Norman and Randall Reeves alone. Now, JT's got to come and show us he can do that, and it's not easy to play as a true freshman on this level, but I think he has a chance to do that. He's Coach Rankin's son. He knows football really well. It's very important to him. Again, one of the higher thought of guys in the state of Tennessee, I thought, this year, and a highly recruited young man, so we're excited and lucky to have him coming here.
Let's stay on offense. You've got 2 quarterback signees, one of them out of Tullahoma, Jared Davis.
We were going to sign 1 quarterback in this class. We did that, and Jared Davis, he's from Tullahoma. He's a bigger kid. He's a 6'3", 195-pound kid right now. Good basketball player, really good athlete. Runs and throws. I like athletic guys. He's got really good feet. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. And it was most definitely a 1 quarterback year for us. There was another one we fell in love with, and just when we had something left at the end, we were going to gray shirt him, and Trent Thompson from McEachern in Atlanta had committed to another school and ended up coming here with us, and he's going to sit out in the fall and come and be with us in the spring. So Trey will be gone next year, and that would keep free scholarship quarterbacks in our program. But they're both really good players, and the football people will know Jared very well. They've played Tullahoma the last few years, and Jared's very, very well thought of and was very highly recruited. We had to fight quite a few of our own schools in and out of state here in this conference to get Jared, so it wasn't easy. I think one of the big things for him is he's a really, really good student, and he's an engineer, wants to be an engineer, and I really think our engineering school probably is what got us over the hump with Jared.
You've already talked about 2 of your 3 wide receiver signees, and that's a position of need and concern. Yes. The 3rd is Jordan Smith, also from BGA. Jordan
is very athletic, another returner. He will play, in my opinion, our Z position where Demetrius Garrett was playing and Cody Matthews ended the year. We had some injuries out there. So I'm excited that Jordan, he'll be our field player where we throw a lot of those little quick screens out there to him and do those kind of things. And he'll be thrown in the mix as also one of the returners to see what he can do. And we missed that since Henry Sales has been gone. We haven't been as good there. We've been solid, but we haven't made the plays, Rob, that you remember Henry making, the long kickoff returns, the long punt returns, and we really haven't had that as much recently. And so we're looking for some of these young guys to come in and give us a boost, along with some of our younger kids that we redshirted that we'll look at this spring.
And finishing up on the offense, a running back, return specialist, Ladarius VanLeer, could be something special.
This guy is one that the community is going to fall in love with. He's just a dynamite young man. His personality is that way. He was here in the state championship games. Absolutely one of the highest thought of kids in this state, and gained over 2,000 yards rushing, so he can be a running back too for sure, and will be. We can use him as an A-back that we call it. We can use him in the backfield as a B-back. Great kickoff punt returner, and just an infectious kid. I think that's one of the kids that the community will see quickly next fall and fall in love with.
Got some defensive players to talk about. First of all, non-linemen. You've got a cornerback and a safety listed that we didn't talk about, Demario Dunn at cornerback.
Yes, Demario's from Pearl High School in Nashville. Glad to get him here. We are always needing corners. We think he's a good cover guy. Thing I liked about him on tape was that it's what Richmond Tooley reminded me of when we signed Richmond out of Memphis. Very tough kid. Richmond would come up and there's some great hits with this kid on tape, and so he kind of reminded us of Richmond Tooley when we signed him, about Richmond's size. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. Can cover you and can hit you, and our boundary corner has to do both those things. Richmond was probably in our top 2 or 3 tacklers last year, so whoever plays into the boundary for us at corner has to be a tough kid, and I think he's got the ability to do that.
And at safety, Jimmy Laughlin from Vestavia Hill.
We wanted a rover. That's really the only safety, the only position in the secondary we thought we needed this year. That's Will Johnson's position. Will's going to be a senior. Corey Weber played when Will got hurt, so we thought we needed to sign. And our rover needs to be a bigger kid. Will's a 6'3", 215. This kid's nearly 6'3" right now. I don't think that weight's probably right. I think he's a little bigger than that, maybe 195, 200. We think he will look like Will Johnson in a year or two. So that's not an easy guy to find. We need that bigger secondary guy that can walk down in the box and tackle and yet play deep halves, coverages, and things that we ask them to do. It's probably one of the tougher positions to recruit, to find, and we wanted to find one of those this year. So we feel really good that Jimmy can be that guy.
You talked about the defensive line. You signed 6 defensive linemen.
Yeah, big year for that.
And you've already talked about 3 of them. Let's touch on the other 3. Hart out of Lebanon.
Kyron is, I think, the Jameer Hogue look. I mean, he's a 6'3", 250, 255 right now, coming out of high school. Really good with his hands. Jameer became a really good player for us and didn't get knocked off the line of scrimmage and was playing on tight ends all the time. And I can see Kyron doing the same things. He's coming in a good bit bigger than Jameer walked in the door. So we've got more potential with him, and he could be a 275 guy playing defensive end. An outstanding student that wants to be an engineer. Again, one of the pluses we had in getting him, I think, and right here in Middle Tennessee, and very, very highly recruited. All the schools around here were after him.
Another player out of the Cincinnati area, Harrison Reed.
Harrison plays where Dwight Evans and Tommy McBride play. That's the weak side end, and they have to drop and rush. Both of those 2 kids are from Cincinnati. Dwight graduated this year. Tommy graduates next year. An important get to have that guy waiting to play, being ready to play on our team when it's time for him to play. He's bigger than Tommy and Dwight. He's taller. Tommy and Dwight were probably 6'1", 6'2" when they came in here, about 220, 225. This kid's 6'4" and 240. So he's a bigger kid, but he's projected to play right where the 2 Cincinnati kids that have been playing here for 4 years for us play.
And one of the more decorated players that you signed, Terrell Rollins out of Greenville.
Terrell is a nose guard. He will play nose guard where Jordan Johnson plays and Lamar Moore plays for us. Both of those 2 kids are juniors, so we needed that young one to come in the door and get him ready to go in his time to be here. He's bigger than those 2. He's taller. He weighs about what they do, but he's a little bit taller. He's 6'1"-ish. Jordan and Lamar, we could probably put them both on top of each other. Might not reach 6'1". I'm not real sure, but what really good players they've been for us. I mean, Jordan Johnson, I thought Jordan Johnson was an all-conference player this year. And before he leaves here, I think he will be. We think Terrell has a chance to do the exact same things that Jordan has done in our program, and we can play with a smaller guy as far as height, that nose guard, but they've got to be bulky and they got to be tough as nails and they got to be really strong to play in there because they got bodies around them all the time, and I think Terrell can give us those things.
It's always an optimistic time of the year when you're signing your guys. Does this class look to you like a group that's going to continue to bring championship trophies to Cookeville?
Well, it better be. There's a bunch of them. 23 is quite a few signees, and of course we had that. My first real class here was 20-something guys, so we had to replace that. And I think our classes every year since I've been here, we have felt like as a staff, each one was a little better than the one before. And we think this is our best class, but we'll let you know that in about 2 years. We'll see.